once again, it's another day. Okay, so what is on the agenda today? We are going to, well, a few things we can do. Get back to Wasp Ridge, collect some more loot, and come back. Or we head back to the economy station so we can check to see if we can get some magnesium because we want to make some ammo. Haven't decided what to do with this thing just yet, but we will. Maybe we go back to Wasp Ridge, grab as much as we can really quickly. And hopefully, when I say really quickly, it'll be fairly quick. And what I want to do is go to the economy base after Wasp Ridge so we can sell what we gathered in terms of steel plates, construction components, and things like that. All right, we're here. Let's just take out these bases first before we head and grab the main base materials. Right, so that's pretty much it for now. We still got a few of the mounting of the turrets to kind of gather. And this is the main base that need to finish gathering as well, which we ran out of space. We did 2 runs and we need a third just to gather the rest. But I think I'm okay with leaving these here for now. Another good tip. Care for it. Instead of turning off the power and to save batteries, but you want to keep the ship running still, hit dampeners off. That way your thrusters are not necessarily on. They are, but not necessarily flying, or I think it's not really using power. Yeah, so having your dampeners off, as you see in the bottom right, 20 days of batteries. Turn it on, 1 hour. So it is kind of saving me some power here. So that's not too bad. All right, we are gonna go to the economy base. We're going to take what we have and pretty much sell as much as we can because we need magnesium. And hopefully they're selling magnesium because we are in dire need of that and maybe some uranium. So just go ahead and gather that really quickly. All right, so let's head inside, see what's there. To sell, buy, trade, and everything. So on a scavenger's mission in this essence. First, we can just check acquisitions. So definitely didn't get a lot of large steel tubes. Computers, we didn't get that much. Uranium, no. That's 82 uranium for 6 mil. 32 radio components. Do we have that many? I feel like we don't. And you need iron ore for this. 34. No, we have 20. Okay, so that is a no-go. Let's just sell computers, construction components. Detect the components that we have. Yeah, we do. Large steel tube. Let's sell whatever we can. Motors. Probably don't have much. Nope. What else is there? Steel plates. Definitely have a lot of that. So you can have that. Okay. So magnesium. I think we're going to have to buy all these. We should. Because that is a good score right there. Let me just buy it before I keep talking and it's going to cycle. Uranium. There's more uranium here. So we need to make the money for the uranium. All right, some iron ore, definitely something we could always use. So, how much space we have? Not a lot. So, can we buy 5k worth at least? Nope. 2k. 2k, we're good. And we're almost full, so maybe another k. Nope. 500? That's looking good. Can we buy 10 at a time to get full? And that looks like about it. And we're definitely out of space now. So 2K worth. So, do wish I could buy more. And I think that's it. Yeah, we're good. So we don't have 36 radar coefficient. That would have been nice to offload a lot of stuff. But all right, that's fine. Let's just take what we got. The uranium would have been nice too, but I think we're running out of funds. So yeah, we can't even buy much uranium. Yeah, let's just head back for now. All right, we touched down and we can just get moving on all the materials. All right, so this is our total score for all our loot so far. And we now have 13K worth of steel plates. So that is quite awesome. All right. So really today what I want to do is continue to make some more weaponized stuff. In terms of stuff, I mean a drone. For once. Not a ship that I thought was going to be tiny. And not like this as well. I like this one because it moves quickly. And it's fun to play around with a fighter ourselves. But we probably want to utilize this one. Or change up this one. Don't know if I want to keep this. It's unnecessary to have that many assault cannons. We should probably change that to like 1, if anything. And turn these into autocannons if anything, to be honest. But either I keep it or scrap this. I'm not even sure at this moment. I think I'm going to leave it where it is for now and kind of deal with it later. It's definitely an unnecessary ship, so there's that. Okay, let's just move this guy really quick because I'm going to make this drone. I am going to make a drone this time around. For sure. So the drone is going to be up here. And of course, like we always do, or have done, start with a favorite little thing called a landing gear. So plop that on. We'll build up a little bit. And I don't think we need to be too high, but that should be okay. So the drone, should be fairly easy. And I think the main aspect of this drone is going to be, you guessed it, an assault cannon. As much as I said I didn't want to do an assault cannon, I do want to do an assault cannon non-turret this time around. So we're going to utilize that and plug it in here as our drone. So it does have a port there, so that's good to know. Where is the top? I think this is the top. It looks like a sniper rifle right there. So that scope-like thing should be the top. So we can add it this way. Or maybe I'll just plop it up here for now. So there's multiple ports. Yeah, 2 ports each side, 1 in the back. So that's where it's going to be kind of significant here. And I think I made a whole bunch of assault cannon shells at one point, and I queued it up, and it looks like I have 33 now. So, yeah, sure. Are we still out of magnesium? Yeah, we're refining it right now, so should be okay. But yeah, an assault cannon, sniper rifle, drone-like thing. That's what we're going for here. So, first things first, the assault cannon. Right there. Looks like a nice little sniper rifle. Now, how much cannons can this thing store is the biggest question. The cannon itself can be loaded up with 3. Total 4, technically. Okay. So if we add small cargo... looks like this has a 90 liter and the small cargo has 125. So we could probably add 4 more in terms of a small cargo, right? 4. Okay. So if we want to make this thing as skinny as possible and nothing too wide to keep with the sniper rifle look, I think we could do with a few small cargos and not a large or medium cargo. A medium cargo looks something like this, which wouldn't be too bad either, but it's getting to the point where I don't want it to be that thick. So let's just try by using something not as crazy or too big. So we just stick a few more cargoes like so. Would that work okay? I don't know. It should be alright. Okay, so we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 small cargoes times 4, that's 20 shells. So, that wouldn't be too bad. Okay, so that's fine. In terms of batteries, we could add a fairly large battery here, and still look pretty decent. So that could be a possibility, instead of adding a ton of small batteries. So I'm gonna stick this guy up here. And that should be okay. I don't know if we have more power cells. We could always make more. But no, we have a decent amount here. Alright, so that's power. That's looking good. And all we need now is to kind of shell this thing up, put in a gyro, get some power on here, or more power on here. So more power meaning, let me throw in a gyroscope here. And we'll throw in a reactor back here. So that is kind of the reasoning for me saying I needed to get the uranium so we could power these drones with reactors, so that we're able to use uranium power to power up these drones. So drones obviously also need more than that, so we need a remote control block for sure. So we're gonna add that right over here. Right, so the rest is gonna be more of just designs for the most part. So I'm thinking something along the lines of that up front. Although I do kind of rather not cover the rifle as much as possible because it is a nice looking design. But it's fine. There you go. That's what that's going to look like. Now, of course, our problem that we always run into is our thrusters. So definitely 1 or 2 on each side should be sufficient, I would think. So we could do a few thrust power maybe up here as our back thrust. Are we missing anything? We are. We're missing a way to add. We're missing a port. That's what we're missing. There's no way I can add anything into this thing because we have no access to a port. So that's bad. We should have focused on that a little bit. So that means we need to add something somewhere. And that something somewhere is probably a connector. Do we get rid of one additional small cargo? I think that might be the case here. So I might have to get rid of this one so that we could put in a small conveyor and then throw in that small ejector or connector here. And we're going to need that mainly for recharging purposes or connecting onto our lovely rover, respawn pod rover. So there's that. Alright, so that is lovely enough. Do wish thrusters wouldn't be as bad to kind of plug in here. So we're going to figure that out. Side thrusting is always what makes this thing relatively big. But we can always add it kind of like out here, like a wing, if anything. And that might be actually the best thing to do about that. Yeah, so let's work on the side thrusts first. Side thrust, we could definitely put it out this way. So what we can do is kind of putting like blocks out here or half blocks. Do you want to use full block or half blocks? Probably half blocks. So something like this. And then tack on the 2 thrusts in the back like that. And that should be okay, I think. To have some protection and everything like that in terms of the thrusters. And we're gonna need 2 on each side, as I mentioned before. And here we can use this half block here. So we definitely didn't have to make this so long. We could have put the battery either on top here or on the bottom. So that would have actually been a little bit better. It wouldn't be as long. Shoot. That actually sounds like a good idea, but it's a little too late because I don't want to dismantle the battery and lose the 20 power cells. So we're going to keep it as this for now. Okay, so we got a side thrust. And now we can add our forward thrust, back thrust, and everything like that too. So back thrust and upward thrust, we need all that as well. Upward thrust, definitely could add it right over here. So it's 1, 2. And 1, 2. That's not too bad. That actually is decent. All right, so that we got up thrust, side thrust, now our forward and back. So forward and back, we have not a problem, but our forward or back, we can add here. And then we need our forward thrust. So our forward thrust, we can add on top or we add it. Actually, yeah, that's fine. We can add on top or we add on the bottom. So that's pretty much our main choices. Or we extend the wing out a little bit more and sneak it in between. So that's a potential thing to do too. So it would look kind of like, actually that actually might look pretty decent. So let's just do that. And the idea why I'm making it long is so that's a little harder to aim for everything. So if we bunch everything together, it's not going to be the best thing in the world. But anyways, we're going to stick one here and one here. So we have 2 thrusts forward, 2 thrusts back. And then side thrusting, as I mentioned before, we just add it here. 2 on each side. We could probably get away with 1 on each side, but probably better to have 2 on each direction, except for downwards. We don't have downward thrust, and that is because we don't need it because we're in gravity. If we're not in gravity and we're in space, yeah, that's going to be something we need to add. Okay, so that's all thrusting power, which is not too bad. And here is where we can add several things too, if we wanted to. Some bit of designing right over there. Gives a little bit of a wing action there. We could leave this open or close it out with panels. Like so. Or we just leave it. Or maybe, you know what? Let's play around with the panel and use kind of like these panels here. So you could cover top and bottom and leave the middle exposed to see the power levels. Could do that way. Actually, not liking that part of it. I think I want to play around with or use these guys here. So it has a bit of a shape to it. So that's what we're gonna go with. Looks like a bit of an eye. All right, so this is our wings. That's our, yep, that's good. And here we could definitely go with a kind of traditional armor slope right in between. Nope. We're going to have to use No, we're not going to use that one. We're going to use the one that has on both sides. So that's going to be this one here. There we go. That's what that's going to look like. Get some protection on the side of the thrusters. So any bullets coming this way, bam, hits the light armor block. And we got to situate this thing up a bit. So I think we added everything we needed. So we should be okay. I think. I hope so. But we're going to add this design here. And of course, we just close this one out right here. So it's a bit of a nice little arrow shape in a way, or dart. Definitely need to change the color scheme a little bit, but that's not looking bad at all. After some thought, I think we might actually be able to get away with adding the two side thrusters down here and not make it as wide as we have it right now. So, I might want to live with that idea right this moment. So one here, one here, one there, and one there. And what we can do here is probably not that, but this. No. This. And that wouldn't even look that bad. All right, I think that might be the way to go, because I don't really care to make it too long. Or too wide, I mean. So let's just do that. All right, so let's just get this situated in terms of the thrusters. And now it's much more compact, which is good. And we can add more right down here in the middle if you need to. But yeah. We can add more designs here, and we can extend it out this way if we need to. All right, so this is the final product of our dart looking light drone. And color scheme's a little off, as you can see here. Was trying to use a green and some gold or yellow to kind of match a few things here, but it didn't turn out to be okay. So I think I'm gonna get rid of the yellow and work with this green that I have here, and I'm gonna make the rest of this yellow into a darker color scheme here. And that might look a little bit better. Okay, so that's not too bad. All right, so that is that. Do we need a light source on here? Didn't think about doing that a little bit earlier, but if we need a light source, we should add it somewhere. I don't think we do need a light source. Why? Because if we're going to control this thing, it's going to be pretty far away in the distance anyways. So not worried about that at all. I did realize I forgot an antenna because that is important to have it being able to detect or being able for me to fly it at a distance. So where can I plug an antenna? Probably down here would make the most sense. Or not, or up here. So unfortunately, I did have to move this thing back a bit because the camera needed to be top mounted. And it was easier. I think it's easier to see. Actually, I'm not sure. Let's kind of figure that out really quickly. So we have some Wi-Fi connection here. No, I can't connect. Okay, so maybe top mounted camera could be up there. So what I mean is, let's get that green. Okay, so remote control originally was here, which was a good spot for it. But then we needed the top mounted camera, or at least a camera on here. I didn't want to plug the camera right in front. I could, but why not utilize the top mounted camera? Because that looks cool. And throw it up here. Can we throw it up here? Yes, we can. So that works out okay. We'll throw it up here instead. And here is where we can put the antenna back here. We'll have it go backwards a bit. There we go. So camera, let's see. Let's give this thing a name. So I think we're gonna call this the D8RT. And we're gonna do Mark 1. Okay. That's the dart. In essence. All right, remote control. Let's go to control. And here we can move it pretty well. Flight is not too bad. All right. That's good. Good to know. We'll put a view there. We put... what can we do here? Shoot. Nope. All that's useless to us. So just need to put a block weapon there. And I think that is about it. No. The connector. Switch lock. Battery. We do recharge, if anything. But that's pretty much all we need. So here is the camera. And we can zoom in and zoom out. There's no red dot, so it's going to be hard to see exactly where this thing is going to shoot. Or is there a red dot? I just can't. Yeah, there is a red dot. Okay. It's a little hard to see that red dot, but it's there. And again, this thing flies okay. We have enough batteries for all the thrusters, so that's good. So we can maneuver this thing. Yeah, it's not too bad. A little bit more thrusters could be helpful, but it's definitely not bad. And this thing is gonna have range, so we can aim this thing pretty far away, as you see here. So we just gotta deal with the arch a little bit, but that kind of all works out pretty well. I think it works out. All right. So that's nice. We could add a seat back here if we really care to. Definitely don't need to. But if we could find a good spot to load it up onto our rover here, that would be awesome too. So if we had to, for an example, we'll probably just grab this guy that we're going to fly with for the most part, because it's got the saddle. But if we wanted to kind of throw it back here, we have the rover, the ship up there, and we just got to grab our dart that's up there. And find a spot for this thing too. So it is a little bit wider than I initially wanted it. So let's see if I bring this down just a tiny bit. Like so. What's that looking like? It's a little bit longer than that ship. That's interesting. It's actually about the same size. Definitely is not smaller. So that is going to be interesting. And find a way to attach this thing. It's about the same size. That's where it gets the problem. But I think if we had to do something, I would probably put a connector right over here. So if I plug in a connector right over there, we could join it there in that case. And if we really had to do a bit of a design here, I would just do this. Here we go. Okay, so I could easily make it horizontal instead, meaning this connector sticking that way. And that would have been easier, obviously. We could add a hinge actually and kind of make it interesting, but because this thing has even amounts of thrust or thrusters, weight distribution is not an issue. And also, yeah, because it wasn't powered, I wasn't able to move this to the autocannon. So it works out pretty well now. So we could move from one connector to another connector and also into the assault cannon. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's a small connector. Okay, so we actually have a decent amount. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 16, 17, 18, about 20, 21, plus the one that's already in there maybe. So maybe 22 ammo. So that's not too bad. Okay, so we control the dart, and if we want to place it somewhere, we could go sideways, like so. And kind of bring this guy into the connector here. And I realize we don't have downward thrust, so this is actually a little bit more on the difficult side of things. But it's still working okay, so I'm not too worried. Okay. Well, definitely not an ideal situation, but it could kind of work. Kind of. And that's where we can glue that in and turn off our thrusters. I think they're off. Looks like they're on. Okay, so there are some issues there, but it's not a big deal right now. But yeah, so that's what that's gonna look like, which isn't too bad. But obviously, if we could plop it on top, it'll be much better. So we probably have to extend it out just a tad. And we do a horizontal instead of a kind of vertical like this, because this is a little bit on the crazy side. Because of course we don't have downward thrust, so that's why I'm saying it's a bit on the crazy side. But if we were to able to put it like right next to the other one, ooh, that's a little too close. So something like right here. A bit close to this one, but that would be a little bit better. So we're only off by 1 block. So we could, if we had to, kind of build that out then. So basically, small car container there. And we could do a C tubing here. And then the connector. All right, so that's what we could make that look a little bit better, obviously, but it is what it is for now. And that's where we're going to be able to connect and put that on and turn the thrusters off. So now this rover is going to have several vehicles here, which is pretty decent. Obviously, if I move this forward a little bit more, it'll be a little bit better in terms of weight distribution. But we should be okay. But I think that is kind of what I want to go with for now with the drones. So I could, if I really want to, have it follow me on this thing too. So lots of things we could do with it, but we got a decent weapon out of it and loaded up pretty well too. But it's nighttime. Time to eat some tofu soup or vegetable soup. What is this thing? Tofu soup. Charge up, eat up, and go to bed.